Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. My name is Miles.
And my name is Kirk. Playoff time, baby.
Playoff NFC Wildcard. Check out our AFC Wildcard preview posted yesterday. Today we talk the NFC games, thankfully in chronological order.
I know.
We just
it's
pick
pretty
up
nice.
right where we left off.
Roll through the AFC, roll onto the NFC.
We told you last episode who would win.
Yep.
The AFC morning game on Sunday. Now we'll move to the afternoon. Hopefully save you some of the suspense.
Yeah, now you already know. You don't even have to watch the games.
Yeah. That afternoon game, that prime spot right there in the middle of the day on first playoff weekend is the Green Bay Packers traveling to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ooh, baby.
Over under a 46. Philadelphia favored by 4.5.
Okay.
History here. The 1960 NFL title game. Norm Van Brocklin versus Bart Starr. Now, what people might not remember about that, and I certainly didn't, is that the Eagles won.
Oh.
The Eagles beat
Lombardi?
Wow. In
In
1960. And Lombardi hadn't won anything yet.
Okay.
So think about like now on the internet. If we had the internet in 1960, and they probably did have paper articles about this.
Yeah.
Lombardi, as an offensive coordinator, loses to the Colts when he was with the Giants in the title game.
Greatest game I ever played.
Gets hired by the Packers, comes to the Packers for 1960 in his second year, and then loses to the Eagles. They're probably saying Vince Lombardi can't win the big one.
He can't win the big one. What's he doing? Get rid of this guy.
Yeah. Then, of course, he wins the NFL title in 61, 62, 65, and then the first two Super Bowls in 66 and 67.
Yep.
But the Eagles got the best of them early.
Yeah, they did. Norm Van Brocklin. Don't forget
Ted
him. Legend.
Dean rushing touchdown set them ahead at the end. They did not meet again in the playoffs until 2004.
Oh, man.
Long
not
time,
until
44 years.
Yeah.
Right? So that, of course, being...
Because the Packers sucked for a while,
Yeah.
and then the Eagles couldn't make the playoffs with Cunningham and them.
Yeah, the Packers were 70s, 80s. I don't think they even made the playoffs. Maybe just once.
Just non-existent.
So
it was Vikings, Bears dominant.
Yep.
And the Lions always sucked. So
So in 2004, divisional game.
4th and 26.
Famous game.
Yep.
Donovan McNabb is got a one minute to go in the game. They're down by a field goal. It's 4th and 26 from his own 20.
Yeah.
And the Packers fans are already celebrating. I'm sure they're looking forward to their NFC title game.
Pretty low-scoring game at this
with
point.
Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And 4th and 26, McNabb hits
Freddie
Mitchell right up the seam. Which, by the way, that I watched the highlights of that. It was Chris Collinsworth was the one announcing. And he immediately calls out the Packers for being in cover 2.
Yeah.
And, they let him go right up the seam. Exact same sound and everything. Collinsworth, man, been around.
And that was the coverage at the time. So
that was.
But still, that just little in route right there.
Yep.
Right at the sticks. Just directly.
Got thumped right there.
Thumped forward progress.
Yeah.
He had it. He caught it. It was definitely over the line. Some Packers fans might be like, I don't know. Maybe he didn't fully possess it. He might have been a half yard short.
Yeah, that was a big topic.
It was there.
I think he got there.
Yeah.
I think he got there. If we were looking at the replay and the age of replay, he would have been forward progress there.
Another Favre letdown.
Yeah, Favre had a rough 2000s.
Yeah, he did.
But thankfully he didn't have to throw the back-breaking pick on this particular one.
Right.
And the Eagles, of course, forced overtime with Akers' field goal and then kicked another Akers' field goal to win the game. Go on to lose the Super Bowl to the Patriots.
Yep.
But
back-to-back Patriots.
Yeah. Now, 21 years later, we get another matchup.
Let's go.
From
This is the
1960
only
to 04,
matchup?
only playoff
Wow.
matchups.
Holy
Of course,
crap.
they played earlier this year in Brazil.
Yeah.
That weird Friday
which
game.
I was not happy about that
You
game.
were not.
Yeah.
And honestly, people are not happy about that in retrospect. That game in the soccer field, very slip and slide. The turf could not handle.
Just what didn't feel like football.
Yeah. It was like a 34-29 back and forth game that nobody liked.
Yeah.
Like usually 34-29 means good game.
Yeah.
Like
but it was so sloppy. The defense was slipping. Just like a few guys had the right cleats on. Like, that was it.
Yeah. Sour taste because Jordan Love got hurt right at the end there.
Yep.
Something I think he's been dealing with this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this been an injury-plagued year for Jordan Love.
That'll come out in the offseason, but not yet.
I know.
Yeah.
How do these teams not get punished for the injury report stuff? This is a 49ers thing, but the backup for Purdy who came in, not Dobbs, but the other one, and then it revealed that he broke his thumb 2 months ago. No one said, like, well, then why wasn't he on the injury report?
We'll pay the fine.
You'll pay the fine.
We'll pay your $5,000. That's that's a penny to us.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But yeah,
So
equipment managers won the game for the Eagles. That was the game in Brazil. That's what I think.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. And it wasn't football like you said. So we're coming stateside. In Philadelphia.
This is America.
Yeah. Now, I love a football game in Buffalo, a playoff game in Buffalo, and then we get a football game in Philadelphia. I can think of two better rocking stadiums to just give us, like, just turn up your sound on your TV and let's freaking watch this shit.
This is a great matchup because lots of injuries coming in, lots of good storylines.
Yeah. Yeah, we should start with Jordan Love's most recent injury.
Getting hurt.
They call they first called it a hand, they then called it an elbow.
Okay.
And then they said elbow, but numbness in hand.
Weird.
So someone said funny bone. And I was like, I don't know what the heck that is, but on NBC it said funny bone. So
pulled for the funny bone. Okay.
Matt LaFleur said he could have come back.
Okay.
He could have come back. They were doing fine with Malik Willis as part of it.
Yeah, but also he has to say what he said about Love, that he could have come back. He has to say that. Yeah,
just to like, you don't think he really could have?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to trust coaches. I mean, we never trust Shanahan on anything.
No, Kyle Shanahan's a liar. You didn't have to make yourself a liar, dude.
Kyle Shanahan's like, yeah, he's probable because we don't know if there'll be a Sunday.
Yeah, there might
the world might end.
Yeah,
that's his.
I cannot guarantee this Sunday that we could be evaporated.
And I don't know. LaFleur seems like he's pretty on it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. They kind of remember when the Commanders were like the Cowboys were about to score a touchdown. The Commanders were about to lose.
Yeah.
And the Packers were realizing, man, if we win this game, we could actually avoid the 7 seed and get the 6 seed. At that point in the game, Scott Hansen on Red Zone was pointing this out. Lord Love was warming up.
Okay.
Like, so there is some
there's something to it.
Yeah, there's some some actions that backed up what LaFleur said. I think Jordan Love's going to be fine.
He'll be okay. He'll make it through the game.
Yeah. Christian Watson not fine.
Ooh.
Tore his ACL, carted off.
Done.
It's
all down to Dobbs and Reed, right?
And because of that, it's just like the game, like Packers feel like they've lost some bite. You know, like I would have been much more pumped about. I think we as a collective would have been much more pumped about this when they just blew out the Saints on Christmas, right?
Oh, yeah.
34-0. They crushed the Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. They crushed the 49ers on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
But now we're like, this has been 2 weeks since that, and we're
already falling back. Yeah, we're like, back to the 7 seed. Oh, you're done. But they're a good, well-rounded team. LaFleur is a fantastic coach. Mm-hmm. Josh Jacobs, I mean, because Barkley and Henry have been having the free agent running back praise, Josh Jacobs is underrated in this. He's at least third on that list. He's absolutely fantastic this year.
So if Barkley is McGuire and Henry is Sosa, Josh Jacobs is more like Rafael Palmeiro.
Why must everybody be a steroid user?
That was 98.
That was baseball, baby. Okay.
So, I wasn't going to give him Griffey.
Yeah, Jacobs is Palmeiro. I like that. That's a good comparison. And if you don't know the references, go back and watch some late 90s football or baseball.
Yeah. Look it up. McGuire versus Sosa.
Yeah.
I guess that has been a long time.
For some people.
It's not an automatic
reference. They weren't even born, some people. It's sad, but we're getting old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Packers, obviously underdogs. I don't know what the spread is.
I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
Philadelphia favored by 4.5.
4.5. Okay. All right.
I feel like that's a lot of credit to the Packers.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles look like a potential Super Bowl juggernaut again. They have the Saquon run game. They've got the defense. Secondary's playing well.
Defense
Vic
looking
Fangio.
good. Yep.
They've got Jalen Hurts. They've got A.J. Brown, very importantly.
Yep.
I mean, it's a very well-rounded team.
They've been, fiddling with injuries. Hurts hasn't played in like 3 weeks though.
Yeah, I was gonna just say I think
it was a concussion. Mm-hmm. So like got the concussion, missed a game, and then obviously got sat last week. So I believe he'll be fine. He'll be looking like Jalen Hurts. Yeah. But it just depends on what you actually think of Jalen Hurts. Because they played perfectly fine without him. I mean, I think it comes.
McKee and Pickett held it. Yeah. It looks. I was just looking it up there real quick. Hurts, it was in the concussion protocol. Was kind of kept there so that they could kind of have the 2 roster spots filled for McKee and
right.
So it seems like I really have never felt that Hurts wasn't going to play this playoff game.
Yeah,
I don't feel.
Oh, he's definitely in.
And it might be good that he's rested. He's been banged up through every playoff run they've had.
Oh, yeah.
But this guy cannot get through a whole season.
Yeah. I feel like he's rested his legs a lot this year, which has been good because I think we might see that come the playoffs. Like, hey, chains are off.
That's his biggest contribution to the team.
Green light.
Like, listen, you got an elite offensive line. You got 2 of the best skill position players in the world. Your defense is back to what it should be. Tons of skill and tons of grit with Vic Fangio. Jalen Hurts is like the 6th most important thing on the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Like, at the Packers go as Jordan Love goes, the Eagles, it'd be nice to have Hurts.
Yeah. This is a tough one for the Packers.
Yeah, I agree.
But I feel like that line is a little closer because of last year's Packers 7 seed going into Dallas and just thumping them.
All Cowboys fans are hoping
that
the Packers will do this again and the Eagles can join them in their misery.
Yeah, this is a good game. This is one I'm really looking forward to watching.
How do you think the Packers can pull it off?
Man, I'm going with your Lions theory that the Packers will beat the Lions inexplicably. So if it's going to happen, they got to beat the Eagles.
Just from the preseason, I've been talking about the unfair historical fact that the Packers are going to get an undeserved underdog victory over the Lions in the playoffs.
I feel like my gut kind of wants to go with the coach of LaFleur being better than Sirianni, but I think the Eagles are just too stacked.
Yeah.
Like they're good. That defense is solid. AJ Brown's healthy. Barkley got 2,000 yards. He got a week off. Like you can run it 30 times with Barkley. I still feel like you're going to win the game. Just a couple bombs to Brown. Devontae Smith, sneaky good. Goddard's finally healthy. Like the Eagles are looking like they might. This is a Super Bowl contending team that hasn't been really talked about this year.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like I'm going Eagles in this game.
I'm going Eagles too.
Yeah.
I feel like some of this 4.5, some of the reason that they haven't been talked about that much is because of their collapse last year.
Yeah.
But that's irrelevant to me.
They didn't do it this year. They were perfectly fine. They beat the Giants with their backups. I mean, like that's a solid team.
It's not like anyone expected them to win the playoffs last year. Their collapse had come so far that we were like, they're just gonna one and done.
Yeah.
This is a different team. I'm picking Eagles as well.
Yeah. Fangio and that defense. Don't forget it.
Yeah. All right, let's go to this unique Sunday night game. The Washington Commanders go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not quite as raucous of an environment as Buffalo and Philadelphia, but it'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be fun. The highest over-under of the week, 50.5.
Defenses are shaky.
Offenses
are flying.
Yeah. Tampa Bay is favored by 3, so pretty close one here.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of history. They played in the 1999 divisional round when the Bucs won an ugly one over the Brad Johnson Redskins.
Wow. Okay.
Of course, Brad Johnson became a Buccaneer and won a Super Bowl with them in 2002.
Dang.
But they shut down the greatest show on turf. Only like 9 points here. 11 points.
Oh, the Bucs when they I remember that Ricky Prohl caught that one at the end of the game in the corner. So cover 2 was working well in those days.
It was working well. And then the Rams, of course, went on to another ugly one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean those days with the Bucs, man, Sapp, friggin' Derek Brooks, John Lynch back there. That defense was stout.
Yeah,
different team nowadays.
Yeah. So I had no idea that they had before that game they had beaten the Brad Johnson, Redskins. So these two teams face there.
So that's their one matchup?
Nope. They got a 2005 Wildcard, which is the last time Washington won a playoff game, 19 years ago. They played, Redskins won, at the time Redskins, and then they went and got thumped by us. Sean Alexander, Walter Jones, Steve Hutchinson, Mike Holmgren.
On our way to a Super Bowl loss.
And they played in 2020.
What?
Yeah.
The Heineke game.
Forgot about this.
Yeah, COVID year.
That was the first game that Brady won with the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
And what's funny to me is I was reminded, so the Bucs went through Heineke, Breeze, Rodgers, and Mahomes on their way to the 2020 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Taylor Heineke had the best game against that Bucs defense in those playoffs. So
that's hilarious.
So we got a rematch of that.
Yeah. Weird. Man, 2020. Jeez.
Yeah. But now it's Jaden Daniels' time. Jaden Daniels, Baker Mayfield, totally different vibes.
Yeah. I mean, I want to start with the Bucs, and I love Baker Mayfield. This guy, since he's been a Buccaneer, I've been an absolute fan. I mean, Cleveland, I was a little shaky with him being the number one pick. And he got cut, and they brought in Watson. But, since Mayfield moved around, got to the Buccaneers, proved he's the best quarterback on that roster. Yeah. Like, it was a roster competition, him coming in.
Yeah, he was brought in to compete with
Trask. Yeah.
Kyle Trask.
Yeah. And he is dominating.
How's Kyle Trask doing now?
He's probably still backing up. Yeah, he's holding that clipboard. Just wondering. I don't know. But Baker's taken over. He's had a great season statistically. Yeah. He got him to 10 wins, which is the most they've had winning this NFC South, this ugly NFC South for a while.
They tried to lose it. They lost 2 games to Atlanta, the team that was chasing them. They had a 4-game losing streak in the middle of the season.
And almost lost to the Saints here at the end. So, But
it was always hard.
Gotta love Baker, man. He's just slinging it. He did well even when Evans and Godwin were both out. He was fine in Otton. And just like he's having fun. His mic'd ups are good. Yeah, McMillan's doing great. The secret sauce to the Bucs is Bucky Irving, who's a perfect Bucky, right?
Bucky the Buccaneer Irving.
Nobody cares about Rachaad White anymore. This is Bucky Irving, man, and he's been holding his own.
And Tampa Bay fans love Bucky Irving.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Rookie running back.
He fights for every yard. Like he is really a secret sauce to this team. Like, I agree. He is the honey mustard to the Buccaneers. And, the defense hasn't been as good. They're still veterans. They got guys that were around when they won that Super Bowl with Brady. Winfield, White's still there.
There's still Todd Bowles, who was the defense coordinator at that time.
So, they still got veteran leadership on that defense. So, Bucs, man, everybody's kind of ragging on them for being a 3 seed here. And, they're not that good and blah, blah. But I'm like, dude, this team... They might be sneaky here in these playoffs. They can put up points.
It is so hard to trust Baker Mayfield. I got there's 2 Bakers, right? And we just don't know which one we're going to get. Yeah. My joke at one point was, if Baker Mayfield had played in the 2000s, the Patriots wouldn't have gone undefeated and the Lions wouldn't have gone 0-16. Baker Mayfield would have beat the 07 Patriots and he would have lost to the 08 Lions. That sounds right. Baker Mayfield in a nutshell. But they did beat those Saints. They beat those Panthers. They took care of business. They thumped the Giants, right? That is kind of going against what I'm saying. The Buccaneers have taken care of business late in the year here. I think 5 out of 6. Yeah, they've won.
And they've competed with good teams. They beat the Lions early on in the season. I think they beat the Eagles as well. Overtime with the Chiefs. So they've been battle tested. You think they just slipped in here, but they've played good teams. They fought their own. Yeah. But when it comes to it, I'm like, Todd Bowles has got to be one of the worst coaches in the playoffs.
He is bad. He's just a bad game manager. He's an amazing defensive coordinator.
Yes.
But maybe he's handed enough of it off. Baker Mayfield had 41 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles doesn't want to throw 41 times in a season.
Yeah. And he just always looks so confused and angry. He's just got that face, that Jim Caldwell face, kind of, just like, oh, what's going on?
Jim Caldwell got fired for that face. Right. Because if he had any other face, he should never have been fired. Right. We're talking about the Colts, Peyton Manning coach of the late 2000s. Yeah. FYI.
We're giving name drops today.
Yeah. So Buccaneers are wobbly. Commanders are wobbly.
Oh, yeah.
Jaden Daniels, I mean, he's probably the rookie of the year. But because of the beginning and end of the year with this just horrible middle where they just couldn't move the ball.
Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury offense completely dried up. And what happened at the end here is really two great games from Jaden Daniels. They beat the Eagles with just heroics at the end, huge high-scoring stuff, and then they beat the Falcons, who stopped playing football.
Right.
I don't know. I can't explain.
Inexplicable.
I cannot explain what happened to the Falcons on defense.
I don't either. I can't do it either.
Yeah.
Nobody can.
But these two teams are so wobbly. This is why it's the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
I don't know what Jaden Daniels and Baker Mayfield are going to do today or Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give credit to Daniels for keeping it together. They were 7-2. They had a little losing streak and just kept it together. Yeah. Dan Quinn's done a great job with this team. Bunch of veterans. Yeah. McLaurin's having a fantastic season. But the defense is still shaky. I mean, I can't really even name you a commander defender.
Bobby Wagner.
Oh, well, yeah.
But he's shaky.
But Bobby Wag's old, man.
Old Bobby. Old Bobby.
He's holding it down. He's a veteran presence. But, this team has still got some holes.
They do.
And to go 12-5 this year, very, very impressive. But are they really going to make a run?
Yeah.
That's tough. And, rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs. I mean, I know Stroud won one last year. But generally, rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs don't really win games. It's tough.
Hard for a rookie quarterback to beat a good team. I mean, that's how the playoffs work.
But maybe Jaden Daniels is different. He's been really good this year. Like he's impressed me. Like coming into the season, I was like,
I wasn't into it either, but I've been impressed. And to your point too, like they held it together. They were an absolute prime candidate to give us some drama here in December, for the wild card positions, but they just didn't. There was just no NFC wildcard drama Thanksgiving on, and a lot of that was because who we expected to collapse, the Commanders, just didn't.
Yeah, they held their own.
Yeah,
12-5, sneaky 12-5.
Oh man, this is such a tough game to pick.
Yeah,
and it's the Miles and Kathleen 10th anniversary Futures Bowl. So Kathleen and I, on our 10th wedding anniversary, went to a casino, put $50 on two teams to win the Super Bowl. I picked the Bucks. She picked the Commanders. And this is preseason. Yeah. The Commanders and Bucks are both huge payouts.
Oh, yeah.
Commanders even more. I think it was the third highest payout you could do.
Oh, nobody. They were the second overall pick in the draft. Nobody
it's like a $50 bet for like $6,000.
Yeah.
So we will get
somebody will make it to
into the divisional round.
But it will be hostile. In the house.
Yeah, you do not want to come into the McGillivray house. You're going to be able to slice the tension with a knife.
Is this why you're just so worried about Baker?
Probably. As someone, it's hard to root for Baker.
Yeah.
I want to just observe coldly and sustainably without any infection, or what do they call that in a neuro
you want to be isolated, sterile.
I want sterile.
A sterile environment.
I want to be in a sterile white room watching Baker Mayfield with no emotion.
Full bubble boy on this. Yeah.
Full bubble boy. This is how you must. This is how you must root.
I got to be honest. This is the toughest game to pick this weekend.
Yeah. I feel like this is why it's Sunday Night Football. This is like.
Yeah, I expect some wild plays, some
powder keg,
some stupid turnovers, some ridiculous touchdowns. I expect this one to be nice. Man, for some reason, I just feel like the Commanders might take this one. Dan Quinn's first year as a coach is generally pretty good. When he took over the Falcons, they were pretty good right off the bat. I think the fall might come later, but he's got that Pete Carroll energy. That's kind of where he came from Seattle, being a coordinator. I feel like he's got this team to maybe just take it over the top. It's not like the Tampa Bay is like the most awesome home field advantage you can ever have.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not really.
So I think I'm leaning Commanders, shockingly.
Wow, I mean, I like Commanders. There's good vibes there. The new owner brought in their own Dan Quinn, new GM, new quarterback. It's just like a clean slate. The fans are just behind this team in a way that they really haven't since 2012 RG3.
Right.
I would take the Bucks, though.
You got to go with your bet.
Yeah, I know.
You can't just give up on that now.
That's what I was going to say. I'm going to go with the Bucks. I mean, it could be good Baker who comes out there.
Yeah.
He could hit Mike Evans a bunch of times and make it work. It is. They do play probably the weakest offense or defense of the wild card round.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Washington Commanders are the weakest defense out here.
Yeah, this will be the game I will watch the closest.
Yeah, me too.
To see if either of these teams actually have a chance.
Do we have one moment for a Mike Evans rant?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mike Evans, 1,000-yard streak, 11 seasons. He ties the great Jerry Rice. Get Jerry Rice's name out of your mouth when we're talking about this. Or just have it do in passing. Do not.
Get his name out of your mouth.
Do not equate Mike Evans with Jerry Rice, even in this 11 seasons. Mike Evans is like, it's more of a statistical anomaly than anything like Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Mike Evans has 1,001 yards in one of the seasons, 1,004 yards in one of the seasons, and now 1,005 yards. So he's a play away from not being 1,000. Yeah. He has another two that are 1,035 and 1,051. So 5 of his seasons are like barely 1,000 yards. 1,000 yards is not that good. The only thing you really need to know is Evans averaged 1,100 yards per season.
Okay.
And Rice averaged 1,400 yards per season. That's 300 yards difference. Stop equating these two things.
Yeah.
Rant over.
Rice's streak was so dang good.
Yeah.
Like,
plus Rice continued it in Oakland.
They didn't even notice the streak until it was over.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
It was like, oh my God, he's crushing it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are on. That's our first game that we picked opposite on, or no, we did.
Texans Chargers.
Texans Chargers.
Yeah.
I picked Chargers. You picked Texans. So
yeah.
All right. Well, we are on to the final game, the Monday game.
Yes.
Minnesota Vikings to the Los Angeles Rams. Over under 47. Minnesota favored by 2. So this is the closest line here. That's a road favorite. Hopefully we do get a close game. Yeah. This is our 4th Monday that we've had playoffs. That just started.
I do kind of like this Monday playoff game. I'm okay with it.
At
first, I was like, I'm a little skeptical, but I'm like, yeah, this fits very well.
I like it. It's something to kind of separate, make it special.
And I don't think it's like a massive disadvantage to the teams playing on Monday night because they'll get the Sunday later game anyways.
Exactly.
Like, that's fine.
It would suck if they got the Saturday morning game. I don't think they will do that.
That would be a disadvantage, but
they've all been blowouts so far. Rams blew out the Cardinals. Cowboys blew out the Bucks. Bucks blew out the Eagles. So we need some drama here on Monday Night Playoff football.
Yeah, and everybody's got a sour taste from the Vikings based on their last game here against the Lions.
Yeah, they're 14-3, but they're only as good as 0-1 last week.
Yep.
That's NFL media.
That's all anybody cares about. Yeah.
History, tons of it.
Ooh,
like you said, the 70s.
The 70s were big.
The Vikings and Rams met in the playoffs in 1969, 1974, 1976, 1977, and 1978.
Wow.
So 5 times in 8 years. Vikings won 4 of those. This is the Bud Grant Vikings, the Chuck Knox Rams,
Purple People Eaters,
the Rams, the Fearsome Foursome, or the Jack Youngblood era. Fearsome Foursome was a little bit earlier, but it was just defense and running the ball.
Yeah, people forget the Rams were good in the 70s there.
Yeah.
Like, they made a Super Bowl in 79, but they could have made many more.
The Rams and Vikings kind of beat each other up and didn't, they kind of kept knocking each other out. And each time their real shared rival was the 70s Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Roger Staubachs kept knocking them off.
Or the Steelers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they each made the Super Bowl once and lost. Vikings to the Madden Raiders in 76, which they beat the Rams to get there.
Yeah.
And then the Rams in 79, to, like you said, to the Steelers.
Yeah.
So then they met in 88. Vikings won that.
Okay.
They got crushed by the 49ers. But they also met in 99. One of the all-time hyped matchups. Greatest show on turf Rams versus the first year of the greatest show on turf Rams versus the Randy Moss, Chris Carter Vikings. Yep. This was the Jeff George version.
Yeah.
So
not
version 2. Yeah, version 2. Jeff George had like 450 yards, 4 touchdowns. Warner had 400 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Jeez.
Moss, 188 yards. Bruce, 133 yards. Carter, 106. Falk, 101. Like, it was just
everybody.
Hall of Famers putting up great games. The actual game was not that good. Yeah. The Rams were up.
They took a big lead, right?
49-17 with 8 minutes to go.
Wow.
And then the Vikings...
the score's closer than that.
Yeah, the Vikings scored 3 touchdowns in the final 8 minutes and they lost 49-37.
Okay.
So they've made a furious comeback, 21 points in 8 minutes, two to Moss. So good comeback attempt, but it wasn't like a back and forth shootout.
Yeah.
Not an all-time classic like you might think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the last time?
That's the last time.
So
this is their first 21st century. Well, that game was technically in 2000, but it was the 99 season. I count it as 99 though.
Yeah.
Like
I don't like it when they mix that. Yeah, it's the 99 season.
Yeah, because otherwise you get so confused. Like the 85 Bears won the 86 Super Bowl. Like just call it the 85. You know,
it's like, what are we doing?
The 07 Patriots lost the 08 Super Bowl to the 07 Giants. Like what the heck?
Don't confuse us like that.
Don't confuse us.
Just call it what the season is, and the year. Okay. The year doesn't end until the Super Bowl's over.
I'm glad to hear we're on the same side as that. I think we're also on the side of the other debate that's coming around this game, which is the Vikings have a huge, they have 3 more wins than the Rams.
Yep.
They have a huge benefit on the point differential. Like they have absolutely performed much better than the Rams, yet the Rams get the home game.
The Rams get the home game, and the Rams beat the Vikings earlier in the year.
Oh, that's true. They have the head-to-head tiebreaker.
Thursday Night Football.
So that kind of goes against this.
Yeah.
But people are saying Minnesota should get the home game because they have such a better record and stuff like that.
Yeah, but we don't want to go full basketball on this thing.
Yeah.
Just leave it as it is.
Because there would just be other years where stuff doesn't line up. Like, don't make changes based on this one thing.
If you're so much better, then go beat that team.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You're going to have to win a bunch of good games, hard games.
And I like that this last, you win the division because you have to play all your division opponents. Mm-hmm. You win the division, you get a home game. Yeah. That makes sense to me. Like, and I don't care if you're the 7-9 Seahawks beating the Saints. That was a good game. Yeah. Remember, you need that stuff.
Remember the 7-9 Panthers beating 2014. They beat the Cardinals.
The Cardinals, yeah.
The 7-9, a really bad playoff team seem to win.
Yeah,
it's funny.
It happens because you underestimate them.
Yeah, God, this is a tough game because
don't sleep on the Rams here.
Really,
I'm going to start with the Rams.
I'm sleeping on the Rams. I'm worried about the Rams offense.
The Rams started 1-4 this year because of injuries.
Right.
They were just plagued all over the offensive line, Nakua, Kupp.
Yeah.
And then since they've been healthy, they've only lost 3 games. And one of those was last week when they weren't even playing their guys.
Yeah. Stafford didn't play, Kupp didn't play, Puka didn't play.
So they went 9-2 basically coming down the stretch. So
it didn't feel like that.
It didn't feel like it. They won close games.
Yeah.
But to me, Sean McVay is a Super Bowl winning coach. Mm-hmm. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won one of those suckers. Mm-hmm. This guy knows how to lead a team. Stafford's still there. He's a veteran with healthy Nakua and healthy Kupp and Kyron Williams. That offense is going to be just fine. And let's just give some credit to the defense.
Yeah.
The only game that anybody remembers about the Rams for some reason is the Bills game when it was 44-42.
Yeah.
The rest of the games, the Rams defense is holding the fort down. That young defensive line has made up for Aaron Donald. They have done a fantastic job this season.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I would not. That's one of the weirdest or biggest surprises of this season is that the Rams' stoutness, and they have gotten better and better.
Yeah.
The Rams' offense, they've been carried by the defense. The Rams' offense couldn't crack 20 points against the 49ers, Jets, or Cardinals.
Still won.
They still won.
They still win those games.
You're right. They won. And the one thing I kind of look at this is Stafford is a blitz beater. This might be a bad matchup for the Vikings because the Vikings blitz so much.
Right.
Then again, I could see a Brian Flores complete change up. Flummox Stafford, don't blitz as much.
Right.
I don't know. It sounds like you're kind of leaning Rams. I think the story of this game is going to be Brian Flores' defense.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a legacy game by them. I didn't think they played that bad against the Lions. They lost horrifically, but the Vikings, you could have hit one of the 12 targets inside the 5.
Right.
Everything went wrong.
Yeah.
3 possessions inside the 5, 3 points. That's insanity. The defense just wears down in that type of case.
Yeah.
But I think this could be Stafford just doesn't look good to me. Looks stiff. I don't know. Gosh, I just think Brian Flores is going to beat the heck out of Stafford. That's kind of where I'm leaning when I picture this game in my mind.
I think this will be fairly low scoring.
Okay.
I feel like this is a dogfight.
Yeah.
Both these teams are good. Like Vikings, and people are just like, they only remember last week because recency bias.
Mm-hmm.
But the team went 14-3.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold's been good.
Everyone's back on Sam Darnold sucks.
I know, right? Like that's how quickly it turns. So, like, get rid of him. Give us J.J. McCarthy again. Like,
he had a bad game, but not that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, just watching it, I was like, this is all unfortunate.
It wasn't atrocious.
Yeah.
The offensive line kind of melted down.
Offensive line melted down. His accuracy was a little off, and maybe he does press again. Maybe big game Darnold,
Yeah.
But you could spin it the other way. You withstood the Darnold dud.
Yeah.
It happened in the regular season. You get to play next week. Now he's got another shot at it.
Yeah. I just find that the Vikings learn how to lose these games. Like, that's what they do in these ones. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's such a bad habit for them. Like,
We have been building towards this.
yeah. I don't understand. I mean, they should win this game.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm looking at it, like, statistically, coaching, talent-wise, I'm like, the Vikings should hold the fort down here.
Yeah.
But something just tells me that they're just going to get heartbroken. They're going to do something stupid.
Yeah.
And, and when I always go tiebreaker, I go coach. And I got nothing against O'Connell, but I think McVay's better than O'Connell.
I like O'Connell a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, a protege of McVay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
They know each other well.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Minnesota here.
Minnesota?
We're gonna go against you.
I'm going
again.
2-minute drive. They call a phantom face mask for Stafford, and the Rams get the field goal at the end.
Nice.
That's what I'm calling.
It's a makeup call for that Thursday night game.
Just the wrong
Darnold
way.
did not get that. Or it's they make up the call, but
for the Rams.
both go against Vikings.
Yep. I like the Rams. I think that'll be a tough matchup heading in for the Lions. Stafford going back to Detroit again.
Is that what would happen?
That's what would happen.
If the Eagles won.
If the Eagles won. Oh, I guess I picked Commanders too, so I guess that wouldn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
But if it went your way with the Bucks, then that would happen.
Okay.
So
I would love another Stafford Lions game. So if that is to be the case, I'll be rooting for that.
okay. Yeah. I think this will be a close game. I think Monday night we've had some duds.
Yeah.
I expect this to be a close one. Both coaches are good. Both defenses are solid. Offenses got some spark.
I think NFL did right. Now that we've talked through all this, they did right to put Bucks Commanders on Sunday night, Rams Vikings on Monday night. They aren't like the marquee names, but they feel like the right games for potential sparks, potential powder keg stuff.
Yeah. And we just want good football.
Yeah. That's all I want.
Give me some legendary moments, so I can talk about it all next year and be like, let's go.
Exactly. Give me a fumble in the jungle moment, something crazy.
Yeah. And then we'll just be so hyped going into the divisional round, which is when you get the best games.
So that's the best weekend of football.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, that is it. Next time we're back, we'll be down to 8 teams. So my name's Miles.
I'm Kirk.
Good night.